This is TWiT. You know where I'm playing Cyberpunk 2077? On my M1 Macintosh, and man, is it snappy. No, I'm using Google Stadia to play it. And in fact, a number of people...
I've heard this is a good way to play it. A number of
people said it actually plays better on Google Stadia than on your Xbox One or PS4. You're playing it on PS5, you're not going to get 4K or any of that stuff. This game's been... They've been developing this game since that 2012 iMac came out that you're using there, or MacBook came out. It's fun. It's a fun game.
What'd you roll, Leo? I pegged you for a Corpo. Did you roll Corpo?
I did. Aren't you funny? You pegged me. So you get to pick at the beginning if you're going to...
you got a nomad or a street kid.
Right. Corpo's but you learn very quickly when you're a Corpo that you're not going to be a Corpo for very long.
No.
There's a quick denouement and you're suddenly out in the street. So it didn't really matter. It's Grand Theft Auto in a very big open universe in the future. Yeah, it's a future GTA basically. But it's fun. It's a nice game. Have you played it?
Yeah, it's glitchy.
It's glitchy and not snappy.
Nope. There's some interesting glitches. I know my co-producer here in LA, Logan, he said that there was a scene where you're supposed to get a chip put in your head or some chip put in someone else's head.
Yeah.
And it was a gun. Like instead of, it was just
don't put a gun in your head.
I had a gun installed in my head, which was like very funny. That made me laugh very hard. And then my husband's been playing it on his computer, and all of the palm trees keep popping to the foreground. All the trees keep popping to the foreground. It's very weird. I've seen a couple other ones on Twitter where it's like a woman walks through a filing cabinet.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird glitches.
There's that weird one about like the people's junk, like showing. There's a clipping issue where
there's a lot of
junk is showing through their pants.
There's a lot of junk in this, isn't there?
There's a lot of junk.
Yeah, I haven't gotten to that part yet. I'm just in the tutorial here. But I think Stadia, by the way, I'm playing this in a browser on a computer that's far, far away.
Pretty amazing, right?
It's a good proof of concept because this is obviously a very challenging game. I'm not playing it on hardware. This is like the original Surface Studio. This is a pig of a machine. Doesn't matter because none of the work's being done on the machine.
Nope. So Microsoft's launching their own Stadia rival
xCloud
in the spring.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that
was one of the topics how that because that wasn't going to work on the iPhone, and now they're doing that via browser on the iPhone, which is I found that interesting because they have to kind of do that workaround because they wanted them to approve like every single game that would be streamed through it. If it
not
was
just approve it, I mean they wanted a separate app for every game.
Yeah, separate app for every game, and then each one of those had to be approved, which is just untenable.
Oh yeah, that's how a cloud service works, a cloud gaming service.
Yeah. So the argument, which I think is a good argument, Microsoft decided not to make it, by the way. They didn't go the Epic route and sue and everything. But the argument is, how is this different than Netflix? It's a streaming game. I'm streaming a movie. I'm streaming a game. There's no difference. But anyway, Apple's, there's a good end
because
around.
It competes with Apple Arcade, Leo.
That's the real reason, of course.
That's the reason.
Yeah.
Well, but Netflix, they've got Apple TV Plus.
I don't know. Maybe
Apple is in everything now.
Yeah.
Remember when they took their name, they said, Apple.
We'll never do music. We'll never do music. Don't worry, Beatles.
We're gonna do music. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Don't worry, Beatles.
They have done everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have a theory on streaming stuff. So I think Google Stadia was waiting for Cyberpunk 2077. It's been around for a while. But I think this is going to be the big launch. And I think it's interesting that in some cases it's actually a better experience than on your own hardware, like an Xbox One or PlayStation 4. Mm-hmm. And I don't think it's for either Microsoft or Google. It has anything to do with gaming. I think, it's a proof of concept that, that their cloud is amazing. But especially for Microsoft, I think what Microsoft's saying is, well, if you can run Cyberpunk 2077, what about Windows? What about Office? Why? I mean, if you can do a game in real time over the internet, could you do
run your entire business?
Run your entire business?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's the real
$20
point.
$20 a month
for
the screen.
Yeah.
So So
I would
Microsoft
love
is
that
moving
idea.
in that direction, right?
Yes, they call it
You know?
Windows VD,
Yeah.
which is
What?
a terrible name.
That's-
That seems like a
terrible name.
bad.
name.
Well, we're
Somebody
going to inject
didn't
you with Windows.
think
We're going to
about
infect
that.
you with Windows VD.
It stands for
Your
Windows
whole
Virtual
corporation's gonna
Desktop,
get it.
but I think they probably will rename it once they realize what they've done.
It'll be Windows STD.
STD, much better. Simulated.
Straight to desktop.
Straight to desktop. Yeah. There it is. You got it. Perfect.
But I
Windows
have a
STD.
question.
Yeah.
How are these virtual cloud-based console games even possible? Like anyone who's ever tried
Isn't
to
that
sing
mind-boggling?
together
Yeah.
over Zoom,
Yeah.
like there's a latency issue. You can't just
Amazing.
wish that away.
It's amazing.
I
Like
don't.
if I push a button
Programming
on the
in the
controller,
you program in the lag as a feature, right? So it's like you just assume it's there.
Maybe. I mean, with a game, especially a game like this where you're shooting things, you're dodging things. I mean, that's where you put a chip in your ear and it turns out to be a cup of coffee. That's what latency will do for you. I'm not sure how they're getting around this. You'd
Magic.
certainly have to have enough bandwidth. Yeah, magic of some kind. That's actually a really good question, David.
It's probably, I mean, the bandwidth is probably one aspect, but the latency of your connection, I think that's why this whole 5G idea is so important, because the latency is improved. And I think that's what does unlock a lot of these things in the future, like the Windows VD, whatever you're saying. It's like the latency is really almost more important at this point. Like people are sitting there, they email me, they're like, Rich, my internet's buffering. I've got, 200 down from Spectrum and it's buffering. And,
I know.
I can't watch Netflix. I'm like, you realize Netflix needs like 5 megabits per second
Yeah,
to work
nothing.
like
Yeah.
perfectly.
What's going on? I don't know. So
Can
what did
we
you?
try something?
Yes.
Let's do something that's never been on TWiT before. Okay.
Okay.
I assume all of you have decent speeds. I'm paying for 200 megabits down at my house. Okay.
Yes.
So if you could cut to the broad view of all 4 screens or all
Okay.
3 screens in Leo,
Okay.
I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, clap at
Okay.
that speed. Everyone clap on 1, 2, 3, clap. Ready? 1, 2, 3, clap. There's no way online games can work.
What do they do, David?
Wait a minute. No, do that. Wait a minute. We got to do that again. That was awful. Let's all
was
sing
really
happy
bad.
birthday. No, 1,
Same
2,
rhythm.
3,
1,
clap.
2, 3, clap.
Wait, that was really off. We had 2 cues there.
Yeah, we had 2 cues. Rich and I live and die by the cues.
So now
guys.
first you got Windows VD and now we got the clap. I don't know what's going
David,
on in this show.
You do, David. You know
mean-
live TV. I mean, it's a nightmare. The delay. So
Yes.
I do these station talkbacks, and Ashley, you've done them. Leo, you've done them. But it's like what I'm hearing in my ear is
it's
like
terrible.
3 seconds quicker than what you see on TV. I mean, it's such a nightmare to try to And when you see it on TV, and I'm sitting there like I'm bobbing my head for like 3 seconds. People are like, "What? Why isn't this guy talking yet?" Like I've heard what you said, and I started talking as soon as you stopped.
The one
But it
gift
takes
that
time.
COVID has given us, which is we all understand a little bit better that because everybody's got lag. And if you watch any news at all, because everybody's coming from their house now, it's just like we all kind of used to the Zoom effect. I think that is one thing we're going to come out of the quarantine with some information about. So which did you choose? Street Kid? You looked like a street kid, Ashley.
Oh, come on, Leo. I went corpo. Give me a break.
You did too?
I totally did.
Oh, that's hysterical.
Yeah.
So Street Kid Nomad. I don't know. I'm going to start a new game because I'm bored. Now,
Hey,
you
Rich
got,
and I will
watch out.
come
This is
back in
gonna
about
get
half
this.
an hour.
This could get graphic very quickly.
no, there's no nudity in this.
I actually have I've got the Stadia. They sent it to me, for free from the, I don't know, for what was it, like YouTube Premiere or whatever I have, my YouTube subscription. They said, oh, do you want a Stadia? And I ordered it, but I've never played it. But now that you're talking up this game, I might need to
well, you have to
set it
buy
up.
the game
You
for
should try
$60.
it for sure.
Yeah.
Well,
To
yeah,
buy
I know.
it,
That's how they get you.
Yeah.
I was talking
But
to
if
my
you-
brother. I was
right
like, is this
now-
free to play on Stadia? He's like, no.
Yeah.
If you don't have Stadia, I believe right now, if you buy Cyberpunk through it, there's an
send you.
offer
Yeah.
where they send you a Stadia,
Yeah,
which
that's
is
what I did.
great.
What?
I
They
had
did that to me.
when
So now I'm going to have 2 Stadias. I'm
Sure.
going to have to open up an eBay
when
account
Stadia
and sell my
was
Stadia.
announced, I bought the Stadia Pro kit and then I canceled it. I thought, I don't want that. This was almost what seems like a year ago. I don't want that. But then the Cyberpunk thing, so I said, all right, I'm going to buy the game. They send you the controller and a Chromecast Ultra because the new Google TV thing doesn't
I know.
work with
Doesn't
Stadia.
work. So ridiculous. So I was going to actually ask about that. So is I haven't opened the box yet. Is the Chromecast in the box as well with the little controller?
Ultra. Yeah.
And I can't use my Chromecast TV, which is so ridiculous.
And in fact, you can't use any other controller with it either. You have to have that 1-2 punch. And then you can play it, but you could play it on a big screen TV. It actually looks really great.
Yeah.
You could play it on anything.
And if you can't get your hands on a PS5 right now or an Xbox Series X for the holidays, like this is a good way to experience it. Because as Leo mentioned, if you're playing on a standard PS4 or an Xbox One, it's going to look like you have everything on the lowest settings. It just looks not great. It plays not great either. So, and even, even a PS4 Pro is like there's some struggle there.
Honestly, and I don't think this was planned, but this is the best case scenario for Stadia. I think this is going to put Stadia on the map, and that's good news for Microsoft because they're xCloud. NVIDIA has GeForce Now. They've been doing this for a while. Sony bought Gaikai, so they've been doing this streaming gaming. Everybody's doing streaming gaming now, and we're in this weird period. I even thought this when Apple came out with its new Macintosh computers based on its own silicon. We're in this period where owning your own hardware is rapidly becoming like owning your own CDs or books. Everything,
it's a liability.
You're going to move to streaming.
Yeah. It's a physical
media
physical
is dead.
Product is
yeah. So we're in this weird interregnum.
I remember buying. You would want to have a collection of things, and I talked about this on my podcast. It's like it used to be building a collection of something was amazing. Whether it was books or CDs or movies or Blu-rays, and as everything. It's to me. I don't even want anything anymore. Like why would I not just pay the $10 a month? And I know, I get it. Not everyone wants to do that, but it just seems so much easier. Like if I want to listen to the new Taylor Swift thing that I see everyone tweeting about, I can just do that in a second. And I don't have to deal with all the. I know, Leo. I see you. I bet you've got the server of your movies, right?
Yeah, Plex. Yeah.
I do. See, I know.
But I don't want to do that.
It's like that's an archive,
I don't
right?
even want to
it's like
do
you're
that.
now not collecting
even
anything.
That's old school.
You're an archivist. It's archival.
Yeah. Even that is old
I
school.
always love that idea of just, having all this stuff, like I own this, but then I'm like, I don't want any of it. And
you can't take it with you.
Especially when you move, man, you pack up those CDs or those books. That's a nightmare, right?